Hey everybody, John Felt here. This is the Blue Water Outlook Weekly Weather Briefing for the 4th of August 2024. You know, I have a number of things to talk about in the briefing. I think the big weather story this week will be a tropical storm that will be affecting the southeast U.S. We also have areas of hot weather and some wildfire smoke as well. So let's get started in today's briefing. First of all, the threats here, you can see we have some hot weather advisories and warnings over the western U.S. And look at this, 20 inches of rain forecast, up to 20 inches across parts of the southeast U.S., especially Charleston and the Savannah areas. In addition, we have wildfire smoke spreading on the jet stream track right through here, all the way into the northeast U.S. from wildfires in the western U.S. And in some areas, we have degraded air quality. Now, as far as rain goes last week, we didn't have a whole lot of rain last week, but we did have some multi-day repeated tracks right in here, and these thunderstorms were fueled by some really hot daytime temperatures. They formed these thunderstorms and they moved from the northwest to the southeast, and some areas of very heavy rain. Other than that, it was a fairly quiet week across the nation as far as rain goes. Now, as far as temperatures go, we averaged above normal, especially over parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the northeast U.S., New England, parts of the Texas Panhandle. It's been very dry. Those areas were 6 to 8 degrees above normal. Just a few spots, those areas in green, averaged below normal. We also reached near 100 degrees or above 100 degrees in these areas I've outlined here, areas of orange. Desert Southwest above 110 degrees, and even above 100 degrees parts of eastern Montana and parts of eastern Washington state. Now, the big flood that has been going on now for over a month has really beginning to fall, and the last week a lot of volume of that water is falling out as the rivers recede. So you can see we just don't have much at all anymore on the Mississippi above flood. And these areas that have been so hot and dry, you can see on the map on the right, these are our areas of low flow. So where this tropical storm is going to move, you can see here we already have forecast for moderate flooding in those areas. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the upper jet stream pattern, then I'm going to talk a little bit about the tropical system. First of all, we're going to have two major weather patterns. We're going to have this high pressure, and if you're under that area of high pressure, you're looking at hot and dry weather. And then this area of low pressure, and as this little impulse here rotates down to the south, it's going to cut out this high pressure, cut it off, sort of push it down. And that's going to bring in a really pleasant period of cooler and mostly dry weather across the central U.S. and the Great Lakes. Now you can see that in temperatures here, blue being below normal. Now let's first of all look at where it's going to be hot. That's the western U.S. We're going to be 10 degrees, maybe even 15 degrees above normal, all the way from Washington state down across parts of the west, all the way down into West Texas. But the blue shades, northern Rockies, Midwest, Great Lakes, and even the Northeast, really some nice weather ahead. Okay, so that's temperature. Let's talk about the tropics. We have Tropical Storm Debbie. It just developed over the last 24 hours into a tropical depression and then quickly into a tropical storm. It's forecast to become a hurricane before it makes landfall in the Big Bend area of the Florida Panhandle. And then as it gets into the southeast here, it looks like it's going to sort of stall and maybe move, sort of really slow its speed right from here to about here. So that's going to produce that really heavy rain. Now, Charleston to Savannah, it's a very flat area, so water isn't necessarily flashy, but what it has is a ponding of water, an inundation, and urban flooding. And when you get that much rain in these areas, it's certainly a flash flooding situation as well, even in areas that not normally would see flash flooding. So Savannah, as much as 20 inches of rain. Charleston, so be prepared in those areas, and then along the immediate coast where the system makes landfall as well. There will also be quite a few gusty winds in the Florida Panhandle, tropical storm force winds, maybe minimal hurricane force winds. Now, other than that, as far as rain goes, it looks really quiet across the nation this week. And matter of fact, if I look out for the next 2 weeks, areas in brown are below normal, and these areas here, we could use some rain in those areas. That's a beneficial rain. And finally, again, I think this week it'll be tropical storm and our Hurricane Debbie as it moves inland. And you can see here, it looks like, I'll go back to the track here. Here is the track of Debbie right through here. In those areas, it does look like tropical storm or low-end hurricane conditions this week. So stay tuned for more information if you're in those areas. Have a great week. If you're in the area with that nice weather moving in, enjoy it. If you're in the west, it looks really hot. Take care.